Well, the day is finally here, ladies and gentlemen, where we are going to be talking about what is up and coming in this next quarter for Galaxy of Heroes, and a lot is kind of riding on the line. First of all, we're already 1 month into this new quarter for Galaxy of Heroes, and secondly, as you guys know, the senior producer for Galaxy of Heroes left for reasons that we aren't 100% sure of, and of course, there's been some negativity kind of running around the game right now. I'm hoping for the best right now for the game, and the thing that's really going to indicate the health of this game as well as the future of this game as well is going to be this right here. The road ahead for Galaxy of Heroes. As you guys know, the new quarter started in July, and this one will end in September. So we're already kind of 1/3 into this quarter, and I already read this post. It says a lot, while at the same time not saying anything, but there are a couple things that are quite obvious, such as cloned reworks coming to Galaxy of Heroes, and some really vague things that sound like maybe iconic power and new abilities slash maybe touch-ups reworks for characters like Maul, Darth Vader or something. We'll read it together, try to dissect it. I'm hoping you guys maybe can give me a different perspective, because this post is one of the most vaguest posts I've seen for a road ahead, but it does have some cool things in it still. All right, so normally CG Kira goes ahead and writes these road ahead blog posts, but we know she disappeared. She's not in Galaxy Heroes anymore. She's moving on to whatever's next for her. We're having CG Top Hat, which is another top brass person over at Capital Games. If I had to suspect, CG Top Hat or CG Eric are probably more the veteran people there that could potentially fill in CG Kira's senior producer spot. We still don't know who's going to be the senior producer, but CG Top Hat, he knows just as much as anyone over at Capital Games. So here comes the next part, because people are hoping for Clone Wars love just as much as the KOTOR love that happened for over a year in Galaxy of Heroes. So they start off with this question right here. You may be wondering, is this the end of our focus of the Clone Wars era? Far from it, and that makes me happy right there. I love the Clone Wars content. There is still so much that needs to be done. We've made so many videos on what still needs to improve for the Clone Wars era, and hopefully the Padme event is going to tie into something bigger. She's giving me BB-8 vibes, where it's a good character, a balanced character, but nothing crazy good until something else comes out later, which makes a lot of sense. That is my hope for Padme. Gives me a lot of BB-8 vibes, and usually every single legendary and journey character to this point has been meta-defining, and Padme has not yet been meta-defining. She is a soft counter to what is the meta right now of Darth Vader and Darth Malik, but let's read what they had to say here. After reworking the Geonosis, we asked ourselves, what could we work on next? How could it be the Clone Wars without taking a pass at the clone troopers themselves? Hallelujah, people. This is something we've been kind of speculating for a while. They said it in podcasts and whatnot, kind of hinting at clones are going to get some more love in the future. Of course, we got our beloved Shakti, and she's done amazing things for the clone troopers already. I use her all the time. I've done a lot of videos, done a lot of testing for her. I've learned a lot, and I know that the clones still have a lot of stuff that they need to do, and hopefully what they're saying right here of clone trooper love, we're going to see some reworks to these guys, because with light side Geonosis territory battles coming around, as they're saying, these will be obviously very important, and in their current state, they are not ready for the type of difficulty they're about to see in light side Geonosis. So they're going to be updating a select few of the clones, so I'm guessing not everyone's going to get a rework. I mean, Captain Rex is still one of the best clones and one of the better overall characters. Not the best in the game, but he's definitely still a solid character, and we hope fans aren't too divided on the ones we selected. We've gone through something like 100 different iterations on which ones we should update. So I don't know if this means they're going to add some more clones, because I don't know what 500 iterations you're talking about, unless they're talking about 500 potential revisions for the current clone troopers. I'm really excited with whatever they had to see. The clones are kind of like the Geonosins. They added one good character to the unreworked faction, Geonosis Brood Alpha, and Geonosins were already pretty decent, and then they got the rework about a month later. I'm hoping we're going to see the same exact thing with Shakti and the clones, and hopefully some more clones so you can create some other Galactic Republic teams, and clones to be a bit more standalone viable without the sole need of Shakti. Maybe some things like Plo Koon reworks and stuff like that. And here they go. Now they start touching upon light side Geonosis. As I kind of said, I had a prediction that they're going to release the light side version probably within 2 to 3 months after the initial release of dark side Geonosis. So our Clone Wars invasion ultimately culminates in the release of the second half of Geonosis Territory Battle, the light side. On the light side, you'll battle the dreaded droid army and the villains of the Separatist Council. We've got some new units making an appearance to support the war effort that will leave you slapping your forehead in disbelief. We have a few other surprises in store, but revealing more would strain our, what is this word we see? Benevolence. You won't have to scavenge for long, as the light side reeks of great content. So if you haven't been following the channel or just Galaxy in general for a while, this is definitely hinting at something, probably General Grievous capital shit, because they brought up the word negotiations and benevolence back to back in so many different instances, kind of hinting at that they mean something. Negotiations obviously meant the negotiator, and benevolence sounds like it's going to be a Grievous capital ship, most likely the malevolence. But I'm not sure if this slapping your forehead in disbelief is a pun referring to something, or it's just trying to get you excited at what you're going to see soon is going to make you really excited. So maybe Coyote Mundi, we've been talking about him maybe being added to the game. And as we see in Darkside Geonosis, we see a lot of opposing enemies that got pretty good, like a Mace Windu rework. I'm hoping there's a Mace Windu rework coming in this quarter. Come on, guys, we're in the Clone Wars era, so we have to have a Mace Windu rework somewhere. And this is where I really start scratching my head. I'm not sure if they're talking about maybe making iconic characters in this game more viable, more relevant, because they talk a lot about Darth Vader, Darth Maul, or Scavenger Ray, iconic characters in the Star Wars universe, and they talk about bringing new abilities in. It sounds like they're referring to some extra reworks or something incoming for Galaxy Heroes for iconic things. I want you guys to help dissect this with me, because this is definitely a weird puzzle and something weird they're going to be adding. And Star Wars is a galaxy filled with objects just as recognizable as the characters that wield them. Darth Vader's mask, Hermit Yoda's cane, Rey's quarterstaff, Darth Maul's lightsaber, and more. While we've done our best to represent many of these objects on the character models themselves, we believe that there is some inherently mythical about these iconic items. I'm hoping they're not talking about new gear. It's starting to sound like gear pieces. Let's read more. Traditionally, progression and power in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes has been represented by abstracted stars, gears, modifications to your character card. In the coming months, we're excited to begin talking about the next phase in character progression in the game, revolving around unlocking and mastering power, represented by a unique item associated with each and every character in the game. So this obviously has something to do with character progression. It sounds like they're not talking about gear, because they're saying this is a little bit different than what we already have in the games in terms of stars, gear, modifications. Only thing I can really think of right now is that they're going to create very specific pieces for all these characters that you're going to be needing maybe at like Gear 13. Right now, as we go to Gear 13, you'll notice that we don't quite have any of these available. Any of these pieces are not available in the game yet. Maybe these pieces they're talking about, these iconic pieces, are going to be very specially crafted things, kind of like the Gear 12 finishers are specific to each and every character. Maybe this is what they're talking about. Maybe you got to do special events to get maybe Rey's lightsaber or something like that to equip at Gear 13, these iconic pieces that aren't just upgrading the stats. Maybe they're going to unlock extra abilities as well. And that's kind of my speculation right now. Whatever the case may be, it's something character progression related. Finally, what if these items not only granted you immense character power, including potentially brand new abilities? As I was saying, these aren't just, it's something character progression related, but maybe adding a piece that gives you new abilities, or it's kind of like something above a Zeta mat almost, where you got to get Darth Maul's lightsaber piece in order to get him like a Zeta 2.0 upgrade. It's a very weird concept right now. But if they were also enhanced using the massive quantities of accumulated, unspent gear and materials that longtime players have piled up over the years of collecting and playing. So for those who have been playing for years upon years, you're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces that are just sitting around. Mark IV stun guns, let's just throw that out there. There's just so much gear that just accumulates, and the way the gear structure has been working, they create new gear walls, and then they don't take advantage of your old gear, and then they stress a lot of current gears like Mark V stun guns, Mark V droid collars. So maybe these pieces that they're talking about, that's going to unlock this mythical power, they're going to be using old pieces of gear as well. It's hard to see exactly where this is going, except that it's obviously going to be important. Our goal is not only to make the game feel more truly connected to the Star Wars galaxy, but also to reward longtime players for all of their dedication over the years and make players feel like everything they've ever collected and amassed in the game matters. And that is one thing people don't feel like they're being rewarded for. All this old gear that accumulates over time, you have nothing to use it for. So that is something nice to be to add in the game. We're excited to talk more about this new feature more in the coming weeks and months. See you on the holotable. So hopefully, when I preface this video by saying this post does a great job of saying a lot, but at the same time not saying anything at all, except that the obvious things are light side territory battles coming soon, people still working on mastering dark side Geonosis, kind of to be expected, and clone reworks, and something that seems either to be like either new pieces of gear that are very, very specific, or like a Zeta Mat 2.0, which unlocks new abilities for characters. Because I guess one thing that's a problem is that maybe it's hard to upgrade every single character and give them reworks over time because there's just so many, but maybe by giving them special gear pieces that unlock abilities, maybe that's a way of kind of just touching up a character. I'm not sure. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this part, because this is definitely one of the vaguest posts that seem very important, but I'm guessing if it's in this Road Ahead blog post, we're bound to learn more of it sometime between August as well as until the end of September, or it might leak over to the third quarter, which ranges from October to December. I was hoping in that Road Ahead blog post we'd see a little bit more. There are some obvious teasers, Grievous's capital ship, clone reworks and stuff like that. So I mean, the only thing I can really say is if you're trying to prepare for light side territory battles, as I kind of said, the easiest way to do that would be to go to your Galactic Republic most likely and gear up a bunch of characters, especially to clones, since they are going to be getting reworked soon. The clones, I'm guessing, are going to be kind of like the Geonosians in terms of their importance, but keep your eye out for Padme Amidala. She is still that oddball legendary that has not really found a perfect home. She's a very balanced character where it currently stands, but being legendary status, usually every legendary character has some major importance in the future, which this, I have a feeling Padme is going to tie into some sort of future event. And as you see, I recently took her to Gear 13, trying to prepare, since obviously the Clone Wars era love is not over just yet, people. And the other character to keep your eyes peeled for, Anakin Skywalker. Padme's an obvious choice, but I feel like Anakin's story is not yet over. And at the very minimum, even if you're going to gear up this character, take him to Gear 13. He's my current Gear 13 project. At the minimum, even if he doesn't get any of our suspected fall to the dark side journey like we've been hoping for a very, very long time, getting some sort of like hooded dark side Anakin that we saw in Order 66, even if that does not come for him, you're still going to have the Anakin Skywalker ship, which is very good and bound to be very important for the Negotiator capital ship. And just in general, he's a very important character for Padme Amidala's team. So those are really the only things I can recommend clearly right now, is obviously focus on your dark side Geonosis content. And then if you're trying to work for the future, Padme Amidala, Anakin Skywalker, and clone troopers seem to be the obvious things that kind of work towards right now. But you guys comment down below, what on earth was that Road Ahead blog post talking about? What is this iconic power, this mythical power that's out there in Star Wars that they're wanting to, us to unlock? Is it new gear? Is it a Zeta Mat 2.0? Are these mini like events you got to do to go through Darth Maul's journey or something like that? It sounds very interesting. I want to know more right now, but unfortunately, we're not going to get that information as of now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Comment down below. Be sure to subscribe. Taking my bar exam starting tomorrow and the day after, so I might be a little MIA, but thank you all so much for the good luck and support. And I will talk to all of you lovely people in the next video. Peace out, everyone.
Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, 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 down. Party Richter, Party Richter. Son of a bitch. Party Richter, Party Richter. Down, down, down.